Welcome to my travel diary. We believe that traveling is a necessity, but it doesn't necessarily mean additional expense, but just the benefit of everyday spending. In today's video, I will be sharing one of my staycation videos. But before I share this video, a few questions. Do you have a passport? If you don't, I think you should get one. A passport is an asset. It isn't a liability. It's the gateway to new experiences and embracing changes. Secondly, if you have a passport, do you know where your passport is? I know of a friend last minute she could not have gone on a vacation because she just couldn't find her passport. In fact, I don't know if she found it since then. Thirdly, is your passport valid? Both how many more months you have on your passport before it expires, because they have a lot of countries, but at least expect your passport to be 6 months valid after the time you expect it to leave the country. So say for instance you're supposed to be in from the 1st to the 21st, they want to see that your passport is valid for 6 months after the 21st. Why? Because in case if something happens, you have to stay in the country, like for instance you get sick or whatever the case might be, your passport must be valid. How many blank pages your passport have? Again, because some countries want at least one blank page and some is asking for 3 blank pages. So you have your passport covered. A next bit of advice I'll give you. Whether you're thinking about staycation or you're thinking about traveling nationally or internationally, get membership to all the hotels or the hotel brands that you're familiar with. There are Hilton, Marriott, IHG, Hyatt. They have Best Western, Choice Plus, and they have quite a few other hotels around. It does not cost you anything. It's just a case of signing up for membership, because you never know when you go somewhere and you stay at that hotel, that could be hotel points that you could use at a later date. Another thing too, sign up for every available airline program. Say for instance you're living in New York. Look at all the airlines that will fly into JFK and you could start with those airlines. Even if it's an airline that I don't think when I end up on Lot Air is to Poland. I have no intention of going to Poland. It's not only it goes to Poland, it might be a Polish airline, but it travels to other countries. And another thing too, if you're stuck anywhere out of the US and it's the only Polish airline, it's the only airline will get you back to New York at a certain time, who would be on the Polish airline? You would be on the Polish airline and I would be on the Polish airline. So why not? These things do not cost you anything. You don't have to feed it, you don't have to clothe it. But it is an asset and it's another arrow in your bow. You have something there. Get your passport ready. Make sure you sign up for every available hotel and airline. I know I have some travelers who have a thing with big brand hotels. They prefer more boutique hotels. They might more go to places like booking.com or wherever the case might be. Sign up for membership on booking.com, because sometimes booking.com have a collaboration with Marriott, which I saw sometime earlier this year. When you book on booking.com and you put in your Marriott membership number, you earn hotel points on Marriott. So you stay at your boutique hotel that you're more comfortable with, but you're earning Marriott points, and that is something that you keep in your back pocket. You don't know when it will come in handy. In the case with the airlines too. Right now IHG and United Airlines have a collaboration. When you stay at the IHG hotel and you put in your preference, you could always choose miles or you could choose the hotel points. If you choose miles, they will ask you which airline you would like to attribute the miles to. Right now United and IHG have this collaboration in the sense that if while you stay within a certain time at the IHG hotel and you have miles as your preference, you're getting triple amount of the miles. In fact, it used to be 1 mile per $1 spent. Now it's 3 miles per $1 spent, which is good because you're building up your United miles. There's another way that could use for traveling. I'm telling you guys this because I have benefited from it for years of traveling with the points and the miles, and it is an asset. You do not have to spend any money on it. So you have all of that. I'll tell you something now that will cost you some money, but it is very, very good. Get TSA pre-check. Not only TSA pre-check, you want TSA pre-check global. The TSA pre-check is for flying within the US. It helps you when you go to the airport, you zip through the line without joining the long line with 4 million people inside of it. Or to have TSA pre-check to have Clear also. But I know Clear is there. I have an opportunity to sign up for Clear, which I'm going to do. I don't know when, but I always had TSA pre-check because it worked. But the global one have an extra benefit. Let me give you this scenario. Like for me, who like to go to the airport before board wife week, very few times I go to the airport and I'm in a long line. I get through very quickly, and that is good. From your port that you're flying out to, chances are you could go to the airport based upon your time or what is happening, and you could have a quick process through the TSA line. When you're returning, chances are that won't be happening. Because when you're returning, at least the plane that you came on have a whole lot of other people on it. When you reach now to get into the country, it's a long line. If you have global, you zip past everybody. You go to your special lane, you look in the camera without your glasses, the sensor, your eyes in your face, and the gate open and you through. By the time everyone get out of the line, you could have your baggage on your way home. So the global comes in very, very good when you return it to the country. It don't work if you go to France. They're not interested if you got global. TSA, they're not even interested in that. But the TSA is for local traveling. The TSA global is for international traveling. So that is going to cost you some money. But I'm telling you, it's worth every penny. And I think it's 3 years is have it for. I think so. Anyway, I will put the years in the video. I'm going to check it and add it to the video. It's a one-time spend that will last you a longer time. And if you have certain credit cards, you get back the money. A credit card part of traveling we will talk about later. But I have a video of a staycation that I took in Georgia. Why I call it staycation? Because it's within driving distance if I had the courage to drive in Georgia. And that is what I consider staycation. Staycation isn't necessarily, for me, in your house or very, very near to your home, which is another thing that you could do. I started staycation when I was in Georgia, and I used to calculate if it's a 2.5, 3 hours drive from where I live, that is the furthest I'm prepared to go. So with that, it was in Alpharetta, it was Savannah, but Savannah was long further, but I didn't mind. They had even at the beginning of South Carolina and things like that. I did one in Georgia, which is one of the several I've done, but I recorded this one here. And I'm going to share it with you. Please look at it. I think it's like 2.5 minutes. And at the end of it, stay, because then I will tell you how I end up choosing that hotel, why I choose it, and why I consider it a staycation. See you at the end of the brief vlog. glass bridge. You could look down and see what's underneath there. I am not looking. I'll stop you enjoy that little brief vlog of my trip to Kutaisi. Here how I end up at Kutaisi. For years I had a JetBlue credit card when I was living in Georgia, and it was great. Atlanta, Georgia, because I'm in Tbilisi, Georgia, but in Atlanta, Georgia. It was great because it was a good airline to be between Atlanta and New York, which I was doing pretty often. And it had a free check bag if I pay for my airline ticket on JetBlue with a credit card. Honestly, that was all I was focusing on. I never look at the other benefits of this card. But recently, I just went to check the account. I haven't used it in a while, but I usually check all my credit cards to make sure there isn't somebody else spending that is not me. I go through my usual, like every 2 weeks, check all the cards. But this time, I don't know why I checked the benefit side of the card, realized that JetBlue had been giving me for the last, I had a card about 7 or 8 years, every year $100 to spend on travel. I never use it, so every anniversary there's another $100 there, but the previous one would expire if I don't use it, because I was only using JetBlue credit card pay for my flight on JetBlue. I would not use my JetBlue card to pay for hotel stay at Hilton because I got a card for Hilton, and it wouldn't be beneficial for me to do that. So I was leaving that money every year. Anyway, when I realized I have this $100, and I think I had about 6 weeks before it expired, I start looking, where would I use this $100? I think it's the very next day. Best Western sent me a promotional email. They have this, you're going to get how much extra bonus points. I don't have a credit card for Best Western, so if I'm using Best Western, I use some of the other card. Thank God I find my $100 on JetBlue. I look at Best Western website and I put in Tbilisi, Georgia. I know the other, I think it's 1 or 2 hotels pop up, and something about them I didn't like. So I removed Tbilisi and put Georgia. And this Kutaisi, Georgia pop up. I never heard of Kutaisi before. Best Western is there. They say it's a new hotel. The pictures looking good. Although some of the reviews people had problems, they said the staff is friendly, but the breakfast options were not that great. I didn't care like that. I had a 6 weeks in which to use my $100. When I looked, I say I could get to Kutaisi by the Georgia Railway, which is not expensive. And they said there's a good view on the train when you're traveling, blah, blah, blah. I booked the tickets. I think like the return ticket is like 20 something US. It is not expensive. I don't mind. They said it's about 4 to 5 hours. Right here, so I ain't got nothing else to do. I could sit on the train for 4 to 5 hours. And I went to this Best Western. And I am so glad that I went there, because that Best Western is at the beginning of everything. They have the white river, they have the white bridge. It is right to the corner there. I had such a great time. Hotel was decent. The breakfast to me was decent. The staff was wonderful. I didn't have any problems there. But that is how I end up at that Best Western. It's because of an offer. And movers, that is the big science. I could remember someone asked me, how do you choose which country to go and visit? It's the hotels that leads me to the country. Or it's something that I find interesting, like Portugal. I heard they're responsible for the codfish that I thought that came from England as a child, so I went there. New Zealand, I heard that they were among the first that allow women to vote. That's why I went there. For me, it is not no, is there a ski resort? If it's things to do, there will always be things to do. There will always be something for me to see, because it's a new place. I don't have to make my bed, and chances are I will be having free breakfast. I don't have to cook. With that, I will go. That is the whole, the science of me choosing where to go. It's the hotels that leads me. If it's a new hotel, it's a shiny hotel, there's an offer on it, I could get there. I think they will let me into the country The time to fly there is not that bad. The airline price is not that bad. Holler would be there. That is how I choose Kutaisi. I never heard of it before, and when I went there, I did a walking tour. I wanted to, my plan was to include part of the tour on it. I asked the guy, the tour guide, and he said, okay, I could use it. But as I listened to it, he was making some remarks that I didn't see any problem with it, but I honestly feel it might be a bit controversial. I just did not include most of the tour on it because he was talking a lot and the other guest was there and they were talking. So I didn't include anything in it. I tried seeing how I could edit it, but it wasn't working well, so I abandoned that. But if you go to freetours.com. It's a free walking tour, and then you just pay the guide like a tip or whatever the case may be based on how you consider his service, which he was very, very good. This is how I choose there, and that is it with you. Even if you're thinking about staycation, look for somewhere. I was suggesting to a friend, she works in Manhattan. She lives in Queens. I tell her, I said, why not when you come to work on Friday, walk with a little bag. Stay overnight in Manhattan and then go to work from there, because on weekends it could be so interesting, it's so relaxing. I said you could find things to do, you could get on the train and go up the Hudson River and all of that, right? That's how I'll advise you to start your staycation. Start where you are. Get yourself comfortable. If you're not a person who spend a lot of time in hotel rooms, or you have about hotel rooms, or you have this thing that you don't want to travel alone, you could start like that. Start taking these little short trips somewhere. If you drive, because some people drive but they don't like driving long distance, you could decide what you're comfortable with, an hour or two. Or, as I said, if you're living in New York, you get to Grand Central, you could go to all these other places which might be an hour, hour and a half away, and you go and spend that weekend. You could start your staycation that way, and then it will give you the motivation, or then you will see the possibilities to start traveling, who knows, to another city or another state, and then you're international. I hope this video had been helpful. It was an inspiration, it was food for thought. It will make you, at least, if nothing else, go and check your passport. And if your passport you tick off all the boxes, please let me know in the comment section, and let me know how you prepare for your travel. If you're still into staycation, if you're into hotels or whatever the case might be, I would be sharing my view, because it's my view, on the different kind of hotels, the different brand status. Also, I will be sharing about credit cards. I know credit cards is a little iffy subject. People don't like it because of fees and all this sort of stuff. I will tell you guys why I like it, why I think you should give it a try or not, and I will be sharing everything about my travel. So take care and have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video. Happy traveling. Bye.